All right, Ron, you want to take over this too?
Right, here we are, guys. What's the current status? Having significant difficulty with visions. I've been working on it, trying to find a solution, and it's been very, very difficult. Uh, and it's all data related. In other words, fundamentals is broke, and that also affects getting options. I've been trying to get the option thing taken care of. What's happened is it appears there is, I'll call it a new format going on the internet where you now have to have some kind of a header in your request. And I go to FinViz or Yahoo, and what I get back is error 448. That's all I get. I don't get any data. I don't get anything. I just get a response. uh, which is the website saying, we're not going to handle you at all. You're illegal. Uh, so I'm trying to get around that, but it's very difficult. So in the meantime, as you all know, Tommy's been working on Pi Visions. It's the online platform. It's web-based. It is fully operational and it's not affected by this issue. I mean, it's new technology, and this is part of the problem that I'm having is Visions is based on Visual Basic, which is, probably 50 years old by now. uh, when you think of Microsoft, when Bill Gates started that way back, that was a basic compiler that he sold, made money on. But anyway, so that is part of the problem is Visions, the underlying support of .NET is not sophisticated enough of what's happening on the internet. And I don't know, if there's a newer version of that that gets around these issues yet. I don't know. I'm trying to find a data source for the current access and having problems with that. So my suggestion is I would ask people use Visions, get on Pi Visions. It's the future, it's new technology, and all the features and functions are there. In fact, one of the things that is exciting in working with Tommy to get, this, and I've been doing this for, and it's probably been over a year now since he started Pi Visions. It has moved forward significantly in the last, I'll call it 3 months because of AI. In fact, Tommy had a request to provide Pi. Everybody knows what Pi is, right? Portfolio Income Explorer, where you take your list of holdings, put it into Pi, and it tells you how much money you can make by selling calls on a continuous basis. If you go out, let's say 1 month or 2 weeks, 1 month or 6 months, it'll calculate and show you the option strike price, what the premiums would be over that period of time, and what the return is. So Tommy was able to take the concept. He basically took all of the help files for Pi from Visions. He sent it over to his AI guy, and I'll say within 24 hours, the AI person or interface, whatever you want to call it, this mythical person came back with a program called Pi. Unbelievable. I mean, it looks like the Visions version of Pi because Tommy sent images, okay, of the program, sent all the help files, so all the, I'll call it data equations are there. It took all of that and digested it and turned it into the program. Maybe Tommy, you could show us Pi just to show what can be done in a very short period of time.
Sure, Ron. I'll do at first off, let me say that it's not my intention to run through everything here uh, as to what we have. I'm just going to kind of focus on a couple of the new aspects of what's been added um, recently. We now have a better login system, which is helps ensure the security of passwords, usernames, and we now have a forgot password button here so that if you want to change your passwords that I originally started you the user's own, you now have the ability to create your own passwords. We had not had that for some time. So the login's a little different. And then as Ron was talking about, we've got the Portfolio Income Explorer module now. And what it does is that it takes an equal weighting factor. And so you can put in some symbols, BHC. Ron always likes IBM. I like to use an ETF. TRIP and XHB. And so you type in the tickers that you want, and then you can change the weighting dollar amount, but I'm going to leave it at 10,000. That's the default. And since the default is 30 days, because you're looking at what you can generate monthly off of a portfolio that included that. So I just leave it. And you can change the stock appreciation. You know, we've talked about, but if you leave it zero, then it takes either at the money or the first strike out of the money. So we'll tell it to run pi, and now we've got some overlays that are being utilized in to let you know that it's still working. It's generating that, and of course now the overlay shows it by ticker. So you can see exactly which symbols it's working on, and then there it is. So with this portfolio, it's actually determined the number of shares uh, based on an equal weighting. So and it reached out to the May 22nd expiration date. So it's 35 days until expiration. Tells us the premium that it receives from it. The if the stock price is such that it's more than $10,000, then it just defaults to the 100 shares. So that's why you see IBM having this large current value, but all the others are pretty well sized right there to that $10,000. So this portfolio would generate $3,207 in premium with a current value of 64,658. The call value on that, remember we said it's either at the money or slightly out of the money. So you can see you've got a call value of 65,600, which is 101.5% of the current value. So the potential gain in a month would be 1.5% on this portfolio. Annualizing that, that's an annual return. If you were to do that month after month after month, it's 66%. So even though a small amount, you can generate quite a bit from that. You've got the ability to now you can name this portfolio. We'll call it the webinar
April.
26 or 18. And I can save that. And now you see it says it's saved there. I've got other ones that I've saved. If you wanted to look at those, then you would just click on that and then tell it to load. What it'll do is you'll see it's going to now tell me, okay, I can ignore the equal weight and take the number of shares that have been saved from that portfolio or I can clear the number of shares and use the equal weight, or I could just say keep it the way it is, use and the way it is set up right now is to use those saved shares. So you know what you've got, then you would just click to run pi again. 30 symbols takes a few minutes to get the 30, but like I said, you've got the that ability to.
Good looking list.
We'll run it again. So one of the features that was asked was, could we, because the way the program originally runs is by equal weight, but you also had the ability to save a portfolio with the number of shares. So you could put in what you have in terms of equities, and then you can change the number of shares. And as you see, as you change those share counts, all the numbers are live and they run there. So um,
It's tough teaching old dogs new tricks. I mean,
yeah, now this is but Bob, you don't use this tool. So you don't use this tool. So let's talk about the next big change that's happened, fundamentals. Bob, you do use this tool.
yep.
And you want to give me a few tickers to use, or you want me to just use what we've been doing?
Do what you've been doing.
Okay.
I've been moving. Trip.
All right. So you put in your list, generate your fundamentals. You can copy a list from a file and paste it in there. We will get a save list feature added very soon. So now here comes out the fundamentals, and very much like what you see in visions, you've got the ability to sort the columns either from high to low or low to high. There's just like in visions, there's a show filters. I may rename that as filter tools, but now you can choose any feature you want. And let's say that we only want to see, well, they're all positive and they're all, let's say we wanted to see greater than 10. So you apply the filters, there were none. We'd have to go back to 0. And of course, since the ETFs don't have any revenue growth, then they don't show up. Okay. And then if you tell it to clear the filters, now you've got your original list back. And I knew, Bob, when I built this, that you'd want to be able to export the results. So here it is, hit the export as a PDF. That brings up my printing. And it should bring up yours too. I would click on PDF, or I could actually just print it, and then I got the paper copy. But some people like to use Excel, so you can export that file and when I double click on it, now I've got it in my spreadsheet program, and I can do whatever I want to with it in my spreadsheet program. Save it, sort it. You can do all those and whatever but we pretty much got all the aspects of what you need right in here. What I need to add is just like you saw on the pi, I need the ability to save your list here. Okay. And so I should have that up and running, if not later, well, probably be tomorrow. Got to work on the trade alert today.
You can change your list of symbols any way you want.
Yeah, you can change it. It's all free flow. I mean,
Cool.
type whatever, whichever ones you want.
How many can you put in there?
How many can you type?
Well, I've got a list of 98 stocks
Oh, that's,
98 is going to be fine.
that I've traded with over the years and done well with, and that's my basic watch list.
Yeah, if you send me that list, I'll put it in as the default for everybody, a default sample list.
there we go.
So the other thing you were talking about, how many can you have? Well, our candidate list for Trade Alert today was 21 tickers. Okay, that came out of a run in the black box last night. In Visions, you could only run 12. But here, I put all 21 in and hit the create multi-ticker plan. I'm going to change this to where it's just like the other one. It'll actually tell you, but you can kind of see what it first populates the tickers. Then if you look in the background, you can actually see the progress taking place. But it takes a while to load up and get all the information, run the chart program to get the state of things. And now it's running the option search engine to get all the option information. And then it's running its calculations. And so there it is. There's the tickers in there. I've added, and I'm going to change this to where it matches the codes that's being used in the chart engine.
Okay.
But this is all dynamic. Again, you can change those.
Yep.
It dynamically change that. Once you start putting things in the plan, then you start getting numbers. You see here how it takes $74,000 to do this trade. 74. So if you go up here and put that number 74366, you see it balances out. The net balance is zero. The green tells us that it's in the plan, and the capital fill gets populated when that takes place. You can see, much like what we saw in looking at pi, how much cash it takes, what's the assigned value of all the options, what's the profit, in other words, and what's the premium being received from selling those calls. If you want to change it to a naked put, we made the default cash secured because that way the percentages are the same as they are in terms of comparison to covered calls. So that's why we make it function like cash secured puts. That way you're not looking at artificially high returns because of the margin aspect. So, and of course, here it is. We changed that. So now we can see that we're out of balance. So we've got a different number. So we can change that manually. We know that that's 74372. It's balanced, but you don't have to balance it. But we've got that feature in there to where you can see that it's balanced, because these calculations down here are not dependent upon that number. Whereas in Visions, it is. In Visions, to see the summary information, which was also in several different locations, you had to have that cash available number correct. But this doesn't matter. In fact, you could just make it zero. You would just, it doesn't impact these numbers here. But that's just real quick. And of course, you've got the ability to save plans load plans, keep plans. So you can see we've been using it for the trade alerts for some time here. Load the plan. And if you load the plan, it loads up all that old historical information. Okay. So that's what it was that day. If you want to update that plan, then you would hit the fetch, and then that would go out and update all the data that's here. So you got the ability to add rows, delete them. You can clear the whole spreadsheet. That's another improvement we've made. If you want to clear it and reset it, yeah. Okay. Now I'm back to start. So that's kind of the improvements that have been there. Haven't touched anything. I am in the process of working on the new chart. Helps to type it correctly, doesn't it?
Yep.
That was fast.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so it grabs that. But what I want to do is I'm going to have a button that tells the historical trades so that you can see where all these individual trades were and what they were. But the thing is that I'd like to make this look a little bit more like Visions in terms of being square instead of a rectangle. Trade Planner was developed to run on an iPad, and the chart program will run on an iPad, but it's not formatted for the iPad. So I need to do some work on it. But you see, based upon what your screen is, you can change, and it's dynamic, which is what web applications do now. And that's the other benefit of that. So it's not static like Visions is. It's a dynamically sized kind of thing.
So that's a preview, everybody, just a preview. I mean, if you look at all of the capabilities that Visions has, with options, charts, trade planner, and now you even have Pi in there, all the functionality is there. And in fact, it's probably easier to run the trade planner on Pi Visions because you can add a row, take away a row, you're not limited to 12. You could have a big portfolio if you want, put it in there. I mean, so there's a reason. The other thing, it's new technology. Now, you're looking at Tommy did things in real time. That's how fast it is. So, I think it's very, very nice. I like it. And I think going forward, this is the best option we have.
Anyway,
This is very, very good, Tommy. This is really, really amazing.
Right. So, okay.
all right. Well, we're a little bit long on the meeting time, but thank you all for being here today, and we'll continue pushing on.
Well, and I can't thank Ron and Tommy enough for what they have done over the years and what it's meant to me.
Thank you.
I really can.
All right.
Trading
Okay,
without
good.
you guys.
Tommy, you'll be hearing from me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Be hearing from all of y'all. Have a great month, and stay in touch, and we'll go from here. Okay.
Thank you for
Very
everything.
good.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.